So October is already going pretty fast. Today is October 8th. What we're trying to get done today is to finish up assignment 3, which has 3 components. Then I'm going to introduce our assignment 4, which is our first vector project. It will be about logo design, black shape vector design. And the sketching for that, the thumbnail sketches, that's going to be our proving ground number 2. And that's what you're going to do between now and next class. So you'll have the weekend to thumbnail sketch ideas for your logo. The theme of that logo is going to be an Earth Day achievement badge design. Now, in terms of assignment 3 has been our longest project so far. It's part of Unit 7. So we're finishing up Unit 7. And to do that, we could go to Unit Modules. We could go to Unit 7, which has to do with GIF animation. Or we can always just go to assignments and go right to the end where we post it. But if you go through the full unit, you'll get the description of the skills we're learning, how they line up with our SLOs. There's a lot of vocabulary and a lot of concepts in digital imaging and digital media. You'll get to see the past student examples. These are the 3 things we need to turn in to get full credit for this project. First, our rough storyboard sketch, then our GIF transformation, our GIF animation that shows a transformation, a change of state of something, beginning, middle to end. And then once you're done with that animation, we can do the refined storyboard. And if you're already ahead of me and done with the animation, what you can do is go to our class YouTube page, which is linked in each assignment under the examples right here for tutorial videos. This will take you right to the playlist page of our class page. And we are the afternoon session of the class, but the morning session, we just finished this project yesterday. So if you want to look ahead and get ahead of me, you can see, for instance, if you're finished with your animation, how to save it as a GIF, how to put it onto Canvas, which we'll be getting to it shortly, and then how to use that final animation to make your refined storyboard for that final requirement. So we all have stuff to do because we need to get those 3 components to finish assignment 3. Hey, good to see you, Angela. All right, so how do we get started? I'm going to use our YouTube videos for our afternoon class. We've done 9 videos so far to kind of remind you of where we've been. So we sketched out our plan for the animation transformation. It needs to feature something that we've created previously in the class. I'm using my setting so far. And then you can also bring in outside things. So I composited a new egg. And my idea is to use my creature as part of my design to pop out of the egg, right? So I'm actually using 2 components I've already built. And where we left off, we were animating up to the moment of transformation. So we're hopefully halfway through our rough storyboard sketch. I'm just going to edit this quickly because I hate really boring key art. Right, we are now getting... I'll do it later. Okay. All right, we are now... So let's continue. So how do we set up our files in order to animate up and through the transformation? This is what I've posted so far. I'm up to right at the moment of transformation, the egg shattering. And now I have to show legs popping out of it. And what's good about that is I'm meeting the requirements. I have a stage file, I have an assets file. I'm going to open both of those up in Adobe Photoshop. They're in my assignment 3 folder, in my master folder. I am not working off of a USB drive or an SD card. I'm working off of my folder that I've moved to the desktop. That's how I'm going to get the best use of memory. And this is my assets file. My stage file, that's my last animation frame. To remind myself of the story so far, I can look at my storyboard sketch. And then to remind myself of how I use the tools in Photoshop, which are different than the tools in Photopea because there's no timeline in Photopea, but you can still set it up in the same way, assets and stage. I can go to the very bottom of the directions for this assignment 3, where I've written out the animation workflow that we've been using. And I'm going to save that into my assignment 3 folder. I already had it saved here, but I'm just going to open it, showing you where you can get it, and open that on my desktop as well. One of the reasons we do these animations as a square is so it doesn't take up too much of your screen space, so that as you're working in Photoshop, you can have your storyboard sketch and the animation workflow to reference off to the left if you're right-handed. So I have the timeline open. You can find it under Window Timeline. I'm just going to do a quick animation test of these frames. It looks like I have 13 frames there. So I'm going to click on the timeline window options and say Make Frames from Layers. I'm going to drag the white background layer to the trash, never hit delete. And then I'm going to hold down Shift, click on the last frame to select all of them, and then set a default timing of 0.3 seconds. That's my default timing, about 3 frames per second. Then press play, and I see what I've animated so far, right? So it's right up to where it transforms. The egg changes state, but it's going to change state more. It's gotten kind of to the middle of being cracked. So now that I want to add more frames, all of that's working well. But I'm reminded that I'm also moving the sky and changing the color, doing these little things as well as moving it. I'm going to turn off the timeline, hit Command 0 to get it full in frame and centered, and then I'm going to go to my assets, hit Command 0 again, and I was in the middle of building my next frame, which is step 0, set up the desired frame. So what's next? What's after this? This is what I've built so far. Notice I haven't changed the background at all yet, and that is something that changes frame to frame. So I should do that before I get too set up with my egg and the cracking. So what can I do? Let's see. I'm going to add this, and I think I was growing it out like this. That feels familiar. These atmosphere. Command 0 will always get me back. So now is the atmosphere changed? Yes, you see that kind of movement on the cloud, and the air is now different. And then I wanted to change the color of the sky just slightly. So I'm just doing that with different opacities for that color in the sky. I'm going to go up to 26 there, probably as the most colorful so far. Yeah, 26 is too much. Let's do 24. So there's lots of ways to set up your desired frame from your different assets. Okay. So this is now maybe my next frame. Is there anything more I want to do with this? No, I think that's enough for the moment. So now I go to step 2. I click on the topmost visible layer. I hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible. That's step 2, a very important step. And from that, you'll see that you have a new combined layer. Then step 3 is Command A to select it all. Command 4 is Command C to copy. Step 5 is to click on my stage file. And then step 6 is on the stage file to hit Command V to paste in the next frame. Then I want to, step 7, click on my assets. Step 8, Command D to deselect the combined layer. And then step 9 to hit delete to clear it so I can set up my next frame. And then I start all over again with step 0. So these, I'm going to get rid of this now, because I don't want to have a pile of eggshells. But maybe I'll do this. I'll duplicate both of these, and then I'll move the eggshell just all the way out, like it's just off of frame here. And maybe rotate it a little. And shrink it. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do with the egg itself, I want it to move a little bit more. It kicked out that way. Now it's going to kick out the other way. So it's going to jump back like that and tilt because there's going to be a force coming from this side. And I'm going to just use my lasso to cut that shape out, just like I did before. So I delete it, right? And then I need to fill in behind it. It's a new layer. And I'm going to just use my paintbrush behind it. I'm just going to paint it black behind. I'll just do it a little bit opposite the way I did it last time. And I'm going to use my dodge tool on the shadows just to brighten this a little bit. This black that I just painted. And that's going really slow, so I can just go right to image adjustment levels and get it to kind of the gray value I want. From there, come on, there we go. And then, maybe because it was pure black, it didn't want to soften for me even on shadows. So then I'm just going to use the burn tool to burn it down a little bit. Okay. But that's not the only change. I need to make a change to the background. So I don't forget that. These are the easy things. But if you miss it in one frame, it's going to be noticeable. And then I transform it, and I keep growing this up and out. And then I change the opacity of that colorful sky. I'm going to take it down quite a bit. So now you can see that background kind of changes nicely. And the egg wobbles, and there's that new hole in it. But of course, that new hole is going to give me a new shell to kick away. And I also need a leg coming out of here. So a lot of new assets. So you just kind of control it step by step. So then I'm going to merge these two. I don't want to merge it with the shadow, so I have to turn the shadow off. Then I can merge them. Layer, merge layers, Command E. Then I can turn back on the drop shadow. Copy it from here. Paste it onto here. So you keep learning as you go. Now I need legs of the creature. Oh, but I also need the shell. So let me get the shell quick. So this is the shell I kind of kicked out. So I'm going to duplicate that onto its own layer. Push it up and above. I don't need a drop shadow on that. Weird, where is it? Oh, it's probably behind the egg. There we go. Instead, I just need it to kind of flick out and be somewhat noticeable. I'm actually going to distort this a little bit so it's a little more visible. And I'm going to stick this behind the boat. Maybe I'll rotate it so there's just this little sliver kind of coming out. I like it this way. So I'll send it out like this. Okay. So that's my frame so far, from this to this. Now I need to add the legs. So I'm going to go above egg roll now, because this is now kind of my creature. And I'm going to go to my assets. And I'm going to bring in the PNG of my creature.